And welcome to Silence This. Today we have
Mauricio
and
Erik.
All right.
And your co-host, as usual, Tyler. What's up, everybody?
And I'm J. Austin Graham, yeah. So you guys are both comedians, San Francisco comedians.
I'm a comedian, but my good friend Erik, he's becoming a great counter to a future podcast about sports that we're going to start.
All right, so you're more of a sports fan.
Sports and movies. I majored
Okay.
in film, so.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Us too. Yeah. So,
Oh, I guess I'm out of the loop.
sorry.
Where'd you study?
UC Santa Cruz.
Oh, nice. Good school. Yeah.
Slug life.
Yeah. It's a good film school, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard good things. I've seen good things come out of there.
I got no reference.
People. Yeah. I went to SF State. I don't remember.
Academy of Art University.
Whoa,
nice.
all right.
Yeah. Fancy.
Next time I cheers Jay, I'm going to hold my beer like this. I'm doing that fancy man spanking.
Those of you on the radio who can't hear, he held his pinky up.
So what do we owe this honor, Academy of Art? I like your guys' cars.
You can just hop on a lot of those without showing any ID.
I'm going to say,
if
man.
You know where, if you know that the Academy bus goes where you need to go, just hop on.
Okay.
Especially if
say
you're
this.
like holding a backpack or something that looks like it has art supplies in it, you're good to go.
That's a dirty, dirty trick I did not know.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound that different from uni.
I'm going to say on that note, whenever I'm feeling down on myself from work and like the everyday grind from being a poor minority, every day I want to throw a brick at those fancy cars that the owner of the Academy of Art
those
owns.
cars, yeah.
Oh yeah, just that one little gallery with all the fancy
There's
fucking
actually-
cars.
wait,
It's just
wait,
like I
the
just
old
bought
ones or
this
the
to
new
put my
ones?
cars in.
Both. Yeah. If I ever throw a brick through his window, just know that my name is Erik Utter.
I was going to say, I'd love to hear where you're going, Erik.
Who's he gonna throw
The
under
owner's name is Elisa Stevens, and it's a woman.
All right, so at least watch out for Erik Utter.
That's who's coming with a brick to break your window because he doesn't like your car. It's not Mauricio.
Erik Utter.
Well, I wanted to bring up some good news because this is just one of the coolest things I've heard in a long time. And so obviously Denver decriminalized mushrooms, but Oakland
thank you.
is about to decriminalize basically growable psychedelics.
What?
So that would be mushrooms, peyote, like
It's like the second green rush. There's going to be a
yeah.
whole bunch of people trying to set up mushroom grows in Oakland and
You
warehouses.
told the wrong guy the right information, man. Mauricio quits comedy.
becomes a mushroom farmer.
King Lord.
King of the fucking mushroom.
Yeah, mushroom community, man. Yeah.
Do they have the authority to do that?
It's
for their own municipality, they can make it a non-priority to investigate those kinds of crimes. Wow. So if cops catch somebody with shrooms,
Then they
can't do anything. They can be like, "Oh, slap on the wrist for having shrooms. We can't investigate this any further. If you're growing them at home, we can't find out."
Okay.
all right. On that note, my name is still Erik Utter.
And he is definitely not growing mushrooms.
Don't live in Oakland.
That's the thing. I don't think mushrooms are like pot. Pot had that huge green rush where like everybody was trying to grow as much as they could because even if you were growing garbage stuff, you could still make some money.
Yeah.
But like, you can't eat that many mushrooms.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be the same kind of
Yeah.
industry around it.
There's kind of a natural.
Yeah, now that you put
Only Mauricio can on that note.
On that note, yeah, you're the mushroom king.
I usually average 2 to 3 ace on a regular high.
Whoa.
What?
3/8.
2 to 3 ace.
How long is that?
go to
Like all
rehab.
at once, or is that like
Or you should study
redosing?
I don't know. I like on this note, dude, this is everything I bleed, man. This is like you guys just made my day. Like I'm gonna click my heels in the middle of that road, you know, right in front of people trying to buy yarn at the stationery stores on Valencia. You know, like fuck them.
How many times do you think you've done shrooms?
Like mountains. Like yeah, whoa. Like I do it like a cup of coffee. Like I don't know if you guys know this. Yeah.
I've tried microdosing. I can't imagine being on. Like I have a limit to how long I can be in any sort of hallucinatory state where I'm like, okay, I need it to stop moving now. Like,
And again, see,
Can I go back to normal, please?
I'm kind of with
tired of the
Mauricio
walls
on
breathing.
this one.
but I have a personal theory that I really think on a good note with vices, which I think the government's got to lay off sometimes, is that we're all inherently, individually, some of us are built for certain vices. Like somehow the gods were like, Mauricio, this is yours. I'm like, thank you.
Have this all day.
Yeah, and as I was walking through Market Street, I was like, thank you for not letting it be crack. You know, because you guys would have seen me for a while.
Super good at taking crack, you guys. Super good at
But
it.
some people have that. Like I was not too long ago just.
Bootsy Collins is a great example.
Like sometimes I walk around in the middle of this, at like 3 a.m., talk to random strangers, you know, like whoever it is, homeless, whatever. And this one guy was telling me you could tell that he was built for meth. Like we all hear horrible meth stories, but this guy is on his way to quitting, and it was like a no big deal. That's it. It ruins some other people's lives because they're not built for it.
It fucked him up somewhat, right?
Dude, if we
I mean, we were talking about like astrophysics. Like he was good. I mean, he's just on his way to quitting.
Do either of you have any knowledge about astrophysics?
No.
But we did about meth.
But the
Funny how that works out.
But the fact that you tried, like if you when like you meet the guy that's like fucked up on meth, it's because his genetics weren't built for it. That's one of my theories, you know.
Some people
Yeah.
are
There's
very
definitely-
successful on meth or any kind of speed. It happens.
Look
As
at how
long
many
as you're
people are
built
on
for it.
Adderall.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
people are just day to day
Yeah.
on Adderall?
That's the same to me.
Same
What,
fucking
Winston Churchill, high functioning alcoholic, he used to have like drinks in the morning, and he's basically saved the world.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had leaders of our world, functioning alcoholics. Like
Yeah,
a lot of them.
having scotch at 8 a.m.
Yep.
That's probably one we should not be proud of.
I mean, that's kind of like how
worked
you
out
become
okay.
a warlord, right? Is like
Yeah.
drinking enough to not give a fuck.
But-
They're like, whatever, throw more troops at
And
it.
I'll give a shout out to John Rogan. He had a recent interview where he said he ran
Joe
into
Rogan?
Yeah, Joe Rogan.
Wait,
Uh,
who's
like
this?
John.
Joe Rogan, comedian. I hope he can visit us one
Podcaster,
day.
you might have heard
you
of
know?
him.
But long story short, he just said he ran into a construction worker that does heroin. We look at heroin addicts on Market Street and think that's heroin, but this guy's a
yeah.
construction worker.
Right.
He's still holding his job and he just does heroin. He's built
Right.
for heroin.
So
Yeah,
in
no,
the
there's
40s,
there's a lot of maintaining heroin addicts like that.
in
yeah.
the 40s, a guy wrote a doctor who had been like working his whole life on morphine. Like he got addicted to morphine young, did his whole practice, worked to retirement. After he retired, he was like, look, I've been a morphine addict and I've saved lives. I've helped people, and my morphine addiction never hurt my practice. I was just taking maintenance doses and that was it. And that got they were like, nobody can ever see this
Nobody
book.
can know this.
Nobody can know this doctor was on morphine this whole time and it never hurt anything.
But it exists. There are people that are functional whatevers.
And the thing is he was a doctor, so he had access to it, so there wasn't a financial issue with obtaining it.
Oh, okay. So he just had like as much as he wanted, whatever he wanted,
Yeah,
essentially.
and
But he
so
also
there was-
knew doses
Yep.
and was responsible
He was
about
safe. It was
and,
like every
yeah.
time he got morphine, he knew what it was. It wasn't possibly cut with fentanyl,
yeah.
And he knew exactly how much to dose. He knew how much he needed.
That's the secret is that
Yeah.
if you know what you're getting and you know what you're doing, you probably won't kill yourself.
I don't remember which country it is in Europe that they decriminalized it, and then the government. I think it might have been one of the Scandinavian ones where the government was actually providing the heroin. So it wasn't methadone or any of those other things, but it was these heroin addicts, these like functioning heroin addicts, and they were allowed to come in and they had a maximum dosage that they were able to take. But the other thing that was interesting is they had to do it with somebody else. Somebody else was there administering it, like medically.
Oh, okay.
And so that social thing, even though there was no
You're putting
stigma
them
around
in
it.
touch with possible treatment.
Wow.
Well, no, not just that, but that somebody else was aware of how much you were using, and so that the people actually actively worked their dose down without. They were like, "We'll give this to you in perpetuity. You can just be on heroin. It's our heroin. We'll pay for it." Da 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 da. And the fact that somebody else was seeing you do it was like, "I'll take 30 milligrams today, and then 20 tomorrow, and we'll work our way down."
yeah.
It's like when you go to the doctor and the doctor asks you, how often do you drink?
Oh, God.
Who tells the doctor the truth?
Not me. Certainly not me.
You're like, a couple times a week.
Alcohol.
What do you guys say? I usually say like 20, 25 drinks a week.
Well, I used to say a couple winks a drink, a couple a week.
Wow. Even better.
Yeah, that would be better. That's the best answer. Couple winks a drink.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm very honest with my alcoholism. I'm just like, yeah, straight up, man, dude. I don't know. I drank more than a frat kid. They like killed himself. You
Well,
know?
since
like,
I've been working
I
at the
drink about
Fillmore,
6
I
beers
drink
a day.
more than I
right.
used.
So, but if you, that's 42 beers a week.
Too much.
I'm
Over a line. Well, over a line. I'm aware. It works okay.
No. But what do you tell the doctor?
Same. Nah.
Yeah, you would tell them 6 beers a day.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
On average. Yeah.
I'm
see,
too
alcohol.
embarrassed.
See, with alcohol, I'd be like, yeah, man.
I want them to know.
I think that's the right thing to do
know I'm-
is not lie to
shouldn't
your
be doing
doctor
it, but-
because that's going to
I
help
don't
you.
know. I
the
think-
most.
Yeah, no, that's true.
See, but I'm a placebo kind of guy. Sometimes the most dirtiest lie will keep you alive longer.
Oh my God. I had these people trying to argue with me that vaccinations were not proven to work because
my
they
God.
hadn't been tested against placebo. And my thing is
Wow.
like, do you
Well, okay, I don't take placebos that far.
Well, they
guys.
don't understand how a placebo works. Because if you give a vaccination to a child with no verbal skills and no understanding of what you're telling them, the child can't just make their immune system work better.
Well,
Oh yeah. Or like I think the elimination of measles is like proof that it
No,
that was what
no
I was going to say.
placebo
It's
necessary.
like, did the child catch the disease or not? If not, it worked.
Yeah,
Like,
I-
it's not a fucking gray area.
I feel like
It's
there's diseases that existed in the 1950s that don't exist anymore. That I think that's pretty sufficient evidence that
Yeah. Here's the other thing I think about it is that like autistic kids aren't that bad. A couple more autistic kids, small price to pay.
well
So even if they are right and the vaccines do cause autism, it's okay.
yeah. It's like a side effect.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like a certain
And it's
percentage.
not all kids, but
No.
guess what? Now all kids don't have measles, and your kid's a little weird. It's fine.
Yeah. I was-
Like, he likes trains, and he can do math real fast.
I was playing Overwatch, and a guy was yelling at me and my teammates, less me, but more the other teammates, just going like, "Are you guys autistic? What's wrong with you?" And I was just like, "Dude."
Ooh.
To me, I was like, really?
What if I was?
Well, also, it's
Poor
like
taste.
autism.
Yeah.
Autism doesn't make you bad at video games.
It might
It might make you good at it.
Yeah.
Be the
super
best.
good, yeah.
Find a new diss.
Yeah, like, this is just inaccurate.
It's like when I was growing up, I used to. You guys might have done the same, where you're like, "Oh, dude, that's hella gay." And it's like,
Oh yeah, lots of
I edited that
missed
out
that.
of my
I missed that one.
vocabulary in 2003.
"Yep." Around the same time.
I joined the Marine Corps in 2003. So let's see, I was called fag for the next 7 years for being from San Francisco. Yeah, that did not go out of my
Where
vocabulary.
was that? Where was everybody else from? Majority.
Mostly Southern California.
That's what I was
LA,
like, oh, okay,
LA,
so
Orange
more
County,
so there.
Riverside.
Okay.
Yeah, that
question.
kind of area. Yeah, San Diego. Yeah.
See, I know SoCal.
There
I'd
was
be like,
one other guy from Berkeley, and him and I were both like the Bay Area, well-read, sensitive, nice guys. So we just got called fag all the time.
See, I know.
All right, fair enough. I get it.
I know SoCal really well. I'd be like, fag, man. It's like you guys gave work to Richard Simmons. You know, like.
That I got
It's
called.
they're just saying it just because you're from San Francisco and they think it'll chap your ass. It's
Oh,
just,
like,
I don't give a
that's
shit.
the law, sort of it.
That's
Yeah.
it's like, do you think that's a bad thing?
In San Francisco, you know, we're cool with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Fag life, bro.
I
don't
like that.
care.
That would
Do
be a
not
good
care.
shirt. Why haven't I
Fag
seen
life.
that?
Yeah, I could make some money selling that shirt.
Yeah, at Pride. Like, you need to buy a booth now. You're on to something.
Let's get ready, man. Let's get ready. Make that money.
Somebody write that down.
But on that point, man, you guys don't believe that you're built for one vice and one vice only? Like,
I could believe that.
I'm built for shrooms, man. Like, nobody has taught me on
I
shrooms
really like
usage.
shrooms. I actually acid does better than me.
See, but I think
I'm
that we
certain-
all have one vice that we know that we can do better than other people.
That makes sense.
Which one is yours?
I mean, like I really like mushrooms and acid.
Yeah,
Like
but which
both
one do
those.
you think you're like Jordan, you know?
acid I get, it's cleaner to me.
Oh, I hate acid.
I like acid.
Like really
Acid's
good acid to me, it's more controllable.
Yep.
Because shrooms has a mind of its own.
I know, and
there's like another
They have
entity
character. It
there,
does.
and like with LSD, it's just me.
And that's
See, I hate acid, man. I really can't stand it sometimes. man.
Really?
It's like boring too. On top of it, like the fact that no, but I'm saying from my perspective,
Wow.
I get it because it's more controlled. So like boring because it doesn't
I
surprise
hate the
you.
control.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
just nice and
I
like,
hate
it's
that.
Like, I know
I hate
where
that
I
feeling.
am, and
Acid
Whereas-
gives me like a happy feeling before
Yeah.
it gives me like the hallucinogen trip. So it almost like sets you up
I like
for like
that,
a good
yeah.
trip.
all right. Well, go in detail, Eric. What's your favorite acid trip of all time?
Ooh, I don't know. My most memorable acid trip of all time was watching Requiem for a Dream for the first time.
What? How do you do
I did
that?
that too. I did that.
Did
too.
you really?
How do you do that?
That's pretty nuts.
whoa,
Yeah, it was. I had this.
I've done-
not a
I
good
did that
film
too.
to watch for.
No, no, it was not.
It'll make you will never do heroin.
I don't want to lose my arm.
Hey, nothing against the heroin addicts, man. We
It'll,
still
it'll
love
also
you.
keep you off speed fairly well too. Like
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I believe it.
No, I recommend watching
I want-
Requiem for a Dream on psychedelics.
But I want to hear the Eric version of this. Wait, tell that story. How did this happen?
Well, so I actually I was in college and I had a class till 9 p.m. All my friends were already on acid, and I got to their house at like 10 p.m. And I was like, all right, yeah, let me join the party. And then for some reason we watched Requiem for a Dream. I had this theory that, and this doesn't even make sense when I say it now, these scenes were being cut in the ratio of pi. So like,
That almost makes sense.
I can see how
on
you
a-
would get that. Yeah.
if you're on acid, it makes sense. I
If
was
you're in
like,
essence, that makes like total sense. I don't know. There's numbers here. This makes sense.
yeah,
Like,
it was like 3.14, 3.14, like you know, like so that was my experience.
nice.
Also during that, I had a friend in college who was an art major who did paintings. She showed us different paintings. She showed us the back of one, which was just a white canvas, and we were like, "Whoa!" And she was like, "Oh, whoops."
But it was still, you were like, yeah. You want to know what I did the first time I was on mushrooms?
What?
That.
Oh, I was gonna compliment you on that. I like that.
What he's pointing to is in the background of other videos.
Yeah. I have a painting on my wall that is 2 panels of the word laugh, where the word laugh, I taped it off, and then I got high on mushrooms, and I finger painted what I thought a laugh looked like over the top of that in primary colors.
True artist.
And it says L.A. Ugh.
Yeah.
Somebody else pointed out.
Because if you break it, because the thing is that I broke it into 6 sections, so there's the dead space before the laughter, and then there's the laughter itself, so it's actually broken into 6 sections. You had to be on mushrooms.
And Tyler roots for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I don't even know what that means. Oh,
So
because
the
of
guy with
colors.
the Dodgers hat. Jesus.
It's the colors thing?
Yeah, yeah, you got a fucking hat.
See, I don't know anything about
All right, so
sports.
he said acid. I want to know this one then, Tyler. What would you say is your number one vice that you handle better than anyone else?
Being stoned.
Yeah.
Oh, weed?
Yeah, my number one vice is weed, by the way.
Oh, what? You already canceled out.
Well, no, I yeah.
Wait, which
didn't
one-
say that
which
was
one-
his number one. He didn't give a number one.
Oh,
vice, so
what's
he's
your number
weed, I'm
one?
Weed. We're weed.
Yeah, we're weed.
Well, I want to stay on some of that topic.
Wait,
'cause,
I want
like-
to say, I want to add something weird to mine. DXM. Have you ever done DXM?
God damn it, you're bringing up that rave shit.
the hell is
Robitussin.
DXM?
Have you ever
Robotripping.
Robotrip, like you
Yeah.
drink a lot of Robitussin. So DXM is
Robotripping.
a.
I've never done it.
It's a dissociative anesthetic. Like it
You also
actually
like
you can.
ketamine and stuff
Yeah,
too. I
and
would hate
DXM
ketamine.
is like
I would
K.
fucking hate ketamine.
But like to
So,
me,
that
like
is-
DXM, like if I get a running,
It's not DMT, DXM.
No, it's very
DXM.
different.
Okay.
But if I get like a cough, I love going to the store and buying like a couple bottles of Robitussin
just
and
being like later.
Yeah, and just like, but I also like drinking half a bottle and going out for a night on the town,
It's just-
and
it's
like
a-
just like you. It's real fucking spacey.
It's disassociative.
So a dissociative takes you to the same place as a psychedelic, but it goes the opposite route. So a psychedelic overwhelms your senses, and disassociative takes them away.
So
but they both lead to the same place.
Your body's still walking along and doing stuff, but you're sort of in like a sensory deprivation chamber.
God.
Inside the body.
All right.
So that's like hell to me, man. I want the
Yes,
fucking.
Some people don't like
Yeah,
it.
why am I outside
like
the party? Like that's the thing is I've heard ketamine described that way, where it's like you're inside your body and your body's walking around and doing stuff, but you're sort of like in an isolation chamber somewhere inside.
So
your
is it
head.
kind of like
And I'm
acid?
like, no thanks.
Yeah, I think they're actually
sound
very comparable, especially on
Doesn't
low
sound that
doses.
great.
Okay.
No.
I hate acid.
So
I really hate
it's,
acid.
it's like acid, but it's a downer. So it's
hard
not
enough.
all like
Yeah, exactly.
overexcited and torqued and stuff. You're just like, oh, I'm relaxing
So
and I'm
this
tripping.
is this some evanescent shit that you're
Yeah,
describing.
probably.
God damn it! I can't do it, man. Can't do that.
Here's
you know?
okay, so I like weed because my thought is more like loose, like disassociative. It's more creative. Like I have more interesting ideas. I write better. I edit better. I sometimes I'll say something to somebody and they'll be like, "Whoa." I'm usually high when I came up with that idea. And I can function. I can do day-to-day activities.
Yep.
And I used to get blotto stoned, where you like freaking like do like the dab, like even like hit one or two dabs in the morning. But just like dab, like hit one or two, get super baked, and then walk out the door and
Go from there.
and go function from there. Like I did that for a while.
You can do it. Like,
It's doable, but you got to be able. The other thing about it is you have to be able. It like develops this skill of like mental focus,
I feel you.
where like weed kind of like you're putting this hurdle in your brain's way of what was I thinking about, what was I doing, and that problem's always going to be there. So then you get better at being like, I know where I am.
no,
and
exactly.
What I'm doing.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
And like then then as a stoner you're more and more comfortable, and then you can just be like that. And you're
That's
not
interesting,
like
man.
stumbling around Walgreens looking for the fucking deodorant.
I like that with edibles. Like, I really love weed edibles.
I really hate weed in general, man. That's where I get like a
Oh, fuck
racist.
edibles.
That's where I'm like a racist redneck. I'm like, you get the fuck off my lawn with that shit, you know? This is mushroom country, man. Super Mario's up on my wall, you know?
So
Yeah.
my theory on making any major decision in your life: masturbate and take a bong rip, and then make the major decision in your life, because you're eliminating all your kind of like weird like ulterior motives.
If you threw in a night of sleep, go to sleep, wake up, masturbate, take a bong rip.
Wow, that's what you guys do? All right, for decision making, I get super wasted. If it's like a harsh time, I get super wasted and go and hang out with the crackheads and the TL and the drug dealers.
Why? How you gonna make a
How is that?
I make decisions.
That's so funny. Like, that's
decisions?
And that's how I'm on heroin.
Well, I don't do
know what the
heroin.
bad decisions are. You go down there, you ask them, be like, whatever they say, you don't do.
Mauricio's
Oh, some of them
explaining.
had some good
yeah,
talk.
Mauricio's explaining like kind of one of the weird things I adapted when I moved to this city.
See, Jay
is-
gets me. What the
I-
hell with you guys?
Every now and then you'll see a crazy guy in the street just yelling weird shit, and you're like, wait a minute. Maybe there's a secret message for me in what he's saying. like whatever weird shit. That weird thing he just said kind of makes sense with a thing I've been thinking about all day long. How the fuck did that happen? And
I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole.
It's like,
oh, it's a bad rabbit hole to go. It is. It's like when you give.
Hey, I've had some
crazy
good
people-
runs. Don't talk shit about that rabbit hole, man.
When you give crazy people on the street talking to no one the chance that, hey, maybe they have something I need to hear.
bad idea.
I'll give you one that was positive. I've been like based on this drug topic of like what we're all built for. There was one time where I was like super depressed. I was anti, and Seattle, where I was living at, has like the most beautiful firework display you will ever see over a lake for 4th of July. And I was so anti that the roommate at the time was like, dude, let's just go out and look at it. And I was like, fuck this, it's all gone to hell kind of thing. And he forces me like, dude, let's just go out there, let's watch the damn fireworks. And one of those guys that was talking to himself, that has everything going wrong in his life, probably a heroin addict, drunken Native American. He just sees the fireworks go off. He drops all his belongings in the middle of the street. And he's like, yeah, America, let's do it one more time, And my roommate was like, let's buy him a beer, man.
You're yelling.
Oh, is it hurting your ears, Jay?
No, it's just sounding like shit.
Just
Oh, so, damn, so we missed the moment
No,
of that
it's
story.
okay. It's okay.
Do you have to retell the
No,
story?
it's okay. It's audible. just...
It sounded great. It just peaked because of the absolute climax of the story. Please continue.
Well, anyways, long story short, I caught myself where the guy that we all judged talking to himself was actually having a bitchin' time while I'm all nothing to really complain about, like in that moment, you know. So that called me out, you know.
Yeah.
So don't
I like that.
So yeah, talk to the guys that talk to themselves.
That's the
you
thing
know?
is, I think you have a fascination. Have you ever been homeless? Have you ever
Yeah,
been in
of
that?
course,
Yeah,
man.
you've done that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I have some fascination with that sort of existence, but my experience with that was the wilderness, where I was sent out and I was like, if I wanted hot food, I would have to rub two sticks together and make fire. If I wanted shelter, I had to take my backpack and turn the tarp that was rolled into a tent. And
but I cut you off right there. There's the one thing I noticed is there's two types of homeless. There's the homeless where they're in the one, and even though it was in my darkest state of mind, it was like, and I was getting all this natural love. There was the people that weren't, you know, and it's like,
the guys like Wildebeest, I think are interesting because Wildebeest could do a whole lot of other things, but he's like, nah, fuck the system.
It's very obvious
Fuck
that-
all of it. I'm just gonna live.
I really like
out in
that
the
about
world,
him.
and I don't care.
I can
That's
totally,
easier.
I can respect that. I can 100%.
decision.
we're not
It's an
talking about
decision.
that.
He's
made a
not
decision about his
complaining.
life.
He's not being a dick. Like, he's just like, this is what I do. That's what you do.
And there's
Like,
three.
Yeah.
Fine.
Because then there's
Love
three. There's the
Right,
decision, middle, non-decision, non-decision. I was the middle non-decision. That was my thing.
What are the other non-decision? The middle non-decision.
My middle non-decision, a big one, is I couldn't work in the country for 2 years because of identification stuff, you know? And yes, it didn't.
Wait, here?
Yeah, in America, yeah. Like, I earned U.S. citizenship the hard way. I didn't just come out of a woman's vagina. I was just given rights, you know? I had to earn that shit, you know? Especially through the 90s. That's why I love Clinton so much, you know? And, but on
Is that
top
why
of
you
that...
want to suck him off? Just
My-
the
It's a
hand
gesture-
motion.
it's a hand gesture thing. It's a hand gesture thing.
My name's Erik Utter. But no, I mean...
Oh, man
I'm sorry,
down.
I'm sorry.
Man down.
Are you sure? Do you want me?
No, don't
That's
worry.
good,
Keep going.
Erik.
Keep going.
But
This
I-
carpet's full of...
But I'm not trying to go too deep on like the sorrow story. But I mean, I just couldn't work in the country
Well, I
for
think
2
it's
years.
really
you know?
interesting, honestly, because I don't get to hear many people tell that actual story. I
For
don't.
sure. But I'm still going on top of like the whole vices thing. It's still kind of connected. The only thing I was saying is like, yeah, you have that. Like when I was in that middle ground, it's like there was still an attribute, like there was this unnecessary, like this unquestionable love that I was getting from my community, no matter what. So it was easier for me versus somebody below that, you know.
I understand
no,
what
I
you're
get
saying.
that.
Somebody with no support network, basically. Yeah, and that's, you know what, that's really sad, and those people need to be taken care of. We need to help them, and as a community,
Big
I talk shit about communism all
But
the
you
time.
know what
but I'm
vice got me
talking
through
shit
that?
about full
Formalized
communism.
communism.
But I wanna-
Not
But I want
not
to bring it back to
social
this
programs
from.
that help people that need it.
I was gonna say I'm trending more and more towards socialism. Like the older I get, like the more.
Read
like,
We can
more-
discuss
read more-
this,
read
but I
more
want to hear what
Peterson.
he said.
I'm gonna bring
what?
in
Peterson.
But I'm gonna bring in. All this was for me to bring it back to the original topic. What vice are you built for? Shrooms got me through that. All of it, man. When it was like cold on a bench, just take a few shrooms, done, man. Like, you know.
well, I honestly feel like I'm a better person when I'm high. Like I'm just more reasonable. I'm less impulsive. You know, like I'm just like, do I want to do this? No, I'm okay.
Well, I recognized very early on that my father had anger issues, and that alcohol did the opposite
did the
of
opposite.
helping that particular issue.
Definitely.
And
It's
then
an
I
anger drug.
found that
Anger drug.
marijuana helps that issue. And it helps me be less angry and more of a generally happy, good, positive person. So that's why I like it. It's like
That all
it
sounds
helps
fair.
me get along with other people better. I think it makes me a better person in a lot of ways.
Me too.
Sometimes it makes me lazy. Sometimes there's downsides. It just depends.
Sometimes it does, yeah, it messes with my schedule a little bit, where it's like, oh, I was supposed to do this before that. But generally speaking, for me, I have a lot of reasons to be angry.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons to be angry.
I think we all do. It sounds like we're all deep thinkers, so that's the first step. You know?
A lot of
I know
things.
you're a deep thinker, Eric. Like,
A lot of things I have in my life that I could like be angry about, but when I'm high, I'm like, yeah, I'm angry about that, but not right now. Like, I'm just doing this.
Let me play Fallout.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's usually like, let me edit some video or write some code. Like,
See, so I don't want to lose this vice talk because I like that you brought up originally the original statement that like it's getting decriminalized, things like this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, it's like
That's
me.
2 cities that are completely decriminalizing shrooms. That means, like, basically, I know more about the Oakland situation than Colorado. I read Colorado just wanted to decriminalize, which means, it's still not legal. You can't sell it or anything like that. But basically, people don't go to jail for it. It
What do you
becomes
think about this, Eric?
That's like weed, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, here in California actually decriminalized most small possession charges.
Thank you, Gavin Newsom.
They're all they're just a misdemeanor. Like you don't
For hallucinogens.
for anything.
Dude, this is
Crack,
all Gavin Newsom.
heroin.
Oh, really?
Meth.
Okay.
Anything like all personal
And the-
amounts
and
of
the-
drugs were decriminalized.
and the tourists wonder why we have a problem.
Well, and
But
that's
at the same time, I'm libertarian as you in that
that's what I
aspect
like
of,
about this city.
Yeah, that's what I like about it is like, oh, you want to do meth? Go
Okay.
ahead. Don't fuck
Yeah.
with anyone else though. Like,
Yeah. Please don't.
Just
try
don't
not
fuck
to.
with anyone else.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
The
do
Bay
all the
Area-
meth you want. We don't give a shit. Just don't hurt anyone else.
Yeah,
Don't
here's-
rob
that's my
anybody.
theory.
I
My
agree.
theory, exactly.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that one. Like any drug, really. Like, and that's yeah.
And then you gotta add on it, don't get in the way of my personal happiness. Like, I'll admit it, I have to do shrooms once every 2 weeks just to be able to deal with humans,
Well, I'm glad that you're gonna have a much easier time doing it. That makes me
Just go
happy.
to Oakland,
I
yeah.
love knowing.
I mean, if what you're telling me is true, you'll never see me again. I'm gonna be a multi-millionaire with a golden gate. And if you guys, any you 3 assholes want to visit me, you have to go through a deadly maze
why
to
are
say
you
hi.
gonna treat us like that, man? We were.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
because
man.
it would be
Here from the
fun.
beginning.
The deadly
Mauricio.
maze will be fun because Mauricio is an intelligent mushroom person. So there's alligators.
I would
but
probably
if you
enjoy
get
the
over
maze.
it,
I gotta agree.
Then there's a banana.
I'm down to play the maze.
I'll just walk around the maze. and be
Now I'm
like,
gonna
hey.
be disappointed if there's no maze.
My dream was always to be the Monopoly guy of Mushroom Empire, man.
right?
Fuck! Only a purple suit instead of a fucking black
You
one.
better be
Actually
patenting your
premeditated?
strains, man.
You've actually premeditated this. You're like, I want to be the
Dude, the minute
the international
Well, let's talk about this.
the
hallucinogen
first year
mushroom
I ever did
dealer
mushrooms,
world,
I never met my father like that, man. I only met him twice. When I met mushrooms, I was like, you're my real father. This is the family that I needed, yeah. Again, I keep telling you on the same topic. We all have a vice that we can gravitate
Dude,
towards.
I love mushrooms enough that I don't.
Like, you
mind-
love Robitussin.
No. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I don't. If mushrooms are legal and easily available, I wouldn't need any of that other shit, and I probably would have never even tried it because mushrooms are right there and so easy and so natural. Like, why would you need to try acid when you can just get mushrooms? Like, it makes. I mean,
Oh, yeah, what's your point?
Like, I've had a good time on acid, and I get that ecstasy's different, and there's different things, but it's like
By the way, never done ecstasy. Only did acid once.
What's your point, Eric?
it's really fun.
Well, no, I was gonna say they're completely kind of different experience. Like, if you had done mushrooms, would you not have smoked weed?
Yeah, they're
That's
so
possible.
different.
Really?
I mean, probably not, but what if I took mushrooms and they were like, hey, you shouldn't smoke that weed?
Well, because okay.
Well, then,
I'm just saying
then
that's
the
a
mushrooms-
possibility
the
that could
mushroom-
have happened.
The mushrooms are fucking you at that point.
Yeah,
At that point, the mushrooms are fucking.
They're like, nah, we're
they're
your
messing with your
friend.
game. They're like,
yeah.
don't agree with that, but we
It's
just
like-
play with us all day.
Yeah.
On my Saturday morning, I like to have a cup of coffee, a bowl of weed, and that's the perfect way to start out my
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. Speedball.
Oh, that is one of the best mornings on the planet. A nice cup of coffee,
Dude, no,
and a
no.
fucking.
See, this is
good
what I hate
bowl.
about you weed
You're
junkies.
missing, you're missing one thing.
That's what I hate about you weed junkies. I like to start off with a cup of tea, a little honey, and a little dose of shroom, and then
You're,
All right,
so you're
fucking
missing.
Queen of England.
You missed one element, which is my favorite. Is I get up, I drink tea, not coffee, or an energy drink. Either way, caffeine of some sort. take a really good bong hit, and then the moment when the song you're listening to really gets into sync with that caffeine and weed.
Yeah, but what's your song?
It's different every time.
No, name it, man.
No,
See, for me,
it doesn't. But it's like it'll happen. Like I'll put on some music, and it'll just like all that'll hit me all at once, and I'm just like, yeah.
It's
now I'm ready.
It's Evanescence,
Sometimes
isn't
it
it?
is. Sometimes it
See,
is.
You son of a bitch.
For me, it's not the song. It's
I love
the
Evanescence.
girlfriend
I'm not gonna
sleeping in the
pretend I
other
don't.
room. It's the sun rising, the dog next to you, the book
Music
or whatever
does it
you're
for
reading
me.
right there, and that.
What's
and
yours, Eric?
Your bowl. You're only a couple rips in on the bowl, and you're like 3 sips in on your coffee.
Oh,
and you're
it's
like,
perfect.
You're like,
Ah.
fucking life is bomb.
Yeah, life is perfect. Life is perfect.
But what's yours in your apartment?
So I mean, it's essentially the same
That,
thing,
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You don't have a dog. What's your dog?
It's a similar sort of
Yeah, no, yeah. You put on. For me, it's I put on Friends. I put on Friends in the morning, the TV
So
show.
bitch. Damn it, you're so white.
It's very
Yeah.
watchable though. It's very.
It's
Imagine
extremely
a good show.
watchable.
It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
show. I hate Ross though.
Now,
Why do you hate? What the fuck? What's your
Oh
problem
my
with
god,
Ross?
here we go.
wait, whoa. Do you like Ross?
Nobody likes Ross.
I
Nobody
do
likes
Ross.
Ross.
I do like Ross.
No. I'm not gonna.
No, that's the most
He
hated
ends up
character on
with
Friends.
Jennifer Aniston. How could you fucking?
I don't.
I
know-
root for Ross, but I do not like him.
Yeah.
I don't know which actor plays Ross.
David
David
Schwimmer.
Schwimmer.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, because he's a dweeb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Nobody likes him. Yeah.
No, but he was okay at the beginning, but then towards the middle, you're like, oh, I would never hang out with this
Yeah.
guy.
Sometimes there's so many bad decisions you can make in a row before I'm just like, really, bro? This is what you're doing. Really, you're
such a
gonna
dweeb.
make the bad choice again.
Let's talk
like,
Friends,
I just
right?
can't hang in with this.
When he dissed Emily, that's where I was like, fuck this guy, man. I wish I had an Emily in my fucking life, man.
Emily.
I
his-
want Emily.
His British wife.
Yeah, who got him like play
that was
rugby.
fucked
He
up.
never played rugby in his life, and he
that was
fucking
fucked up, but
dominated.
realistic. I'll be honest. Like his heart still belonged to Rachel. That was realistic.
Yeah. Oh God.
I
Yeah.
hate to say it.
Yeah, but
like,
who says the wrong name at the fucking altar? Bullshit.
That was fucking insane.
That's
I
the
didn't even
moment.
remember this until Mauricio brought it up, and now it's all flooding back.
I can't.
I've been watching.
keep on
I've been
Friends
watching it
yet.
every day right now. I've been watching it every day right now, studying it. Yeah.
I can't go this deep on Friends.
Well,
Too
yeah,
many
because you
episodes.
fucking are like a filmmaker.
I don't blame you.
Well, the other thing is, no,
I watched it.
This is
I
a-
watched this when it aired.
We
so
were-
like I'm remembering.
we
that
recorded.
far back.
Okay, so we recorded a podcast with Jackson yesterday. We were talking about media formats.
Wait, which Jackson?
Jackson McBrayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
He's
talking.
back?
Yeah.
Never went anywhere.
I haven't seen him in a
video
while.
and podcast, man.
Well, because he's been doing poetry instead of comedy. Yeah,
Well, how come he never hits me up, man? We're good
He
friends.
doesn't hit anybody up, man. He just
Bullshit, man. All
He
you
said,
guys-
hold on. He said it last night. He said, I don't hit anybody up. I just say, hey, I'm going to here. If you want to be there too, hit me up.
Well, Mauricio's
hit
chopped
me up.
liver.
Yep,
But
that's how it
anyway,
works.
See, I take
we were
friendship
talking about
differently.
media formats and the fact that in these long TV shows and the fact that a TV show's writing cycle, the way that each episode works is it all basically ends up where it started. And so over the course of a season, you could move a few episodes, and so you've really only written one story over the course of an entire season.
All right, time to get into film,
Like,
Eric.
And so like I think that things like Maniac on Netflix
Yeah.
that are one entire, instead of a movie, it's 6 hours, 6 episodes, 1 hour each episode. Each episode kind of is its own thing,
That's the
about its
future.
own thing,
I mean,
but it's the
that's-
same story. They're all stitched together very well. That's the way a story should be delivered now.
Yeah.
That's a better format than that dribbling Friends
No.
sort of like stretching
Well,
it.
Yeah,
Gotta do another
I mean
week,
the
like-
consumption has changed. You know, we're all streaming this. Like
The
we're
mini
not.
series has changed. Like they used to be shitty, like made for like just sell shit in commercial time. Like the original It was a mini series, kind of.
What?
Yeah, the original
Yeah, I
It
remember that.
was
Yeah,
it
that's
came
true.
out like an hour, and then like a week or two later, like the next one came out,
Instead of the
and like
film,
so it's
yeah.
kind of a mini series, but like it's made for TV, so it's not that scary, it's not that extreme, like, and that's why the new It movie was so much better. Because it was like they could do everything they weren't allowed to do.
There was
in
the other
front of
thing
a
about-
TV
Yeah.
audience.
The other thing about
I finally
it is
researched New Line
the
Cinema. Like they made it. I did a little light research on New Line Cinema. They were in charge of it.
It's an interesting production.
Yeah, they pretty much kicked it off with Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I had no idea.
Yeah, it has a really interesting production story. I don't remember a lot of the details, but I do know that the production story behind that particular film.
Well, the big story was nobody wanted to back up Ninja Turtles originally, no matter how many action figure sales and all that stuff. And New Line Cinema was like, "We'll take it."
Yeah,
and like, there you go, man.
And they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Millions and off and fucking running.
Have you guys heard of Chernobyl, the new HBO miniseries?
That looks really interesting.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal.
Really?
It's so good.
How many episodes is it?
5.
Already.
5?
Yeah.
So, no, 5 total. They've come
5
out
total?
with 3, I think.
Okay.
But it's gonna end.
It's going to end in 2 weeks.
I ask that question all the time. I'm like, wait, it's going to end?
It is
I'm
going to end. That is one of the things that everybody's like, are you up on Game of Thrones? I'm like, after it ends, then I'll get up on it.
I watched a fucking show.
That's an entirely different subject.
M. Night.
I don't care.
I hate Game of Thrones too, by the way, audience.
M. Night Shyamalan made a show. And it was good. It was actually really good. And the thing is like, it's going to be one season. And then so like, I thought, oh, good, a contained show. I don't remember the name. It was a pretty good contained story. But then they were like, oh, this did so well. Why don't you make another one and we'll just tack another name onto it? Wow. You know, so it's like
had to make a whole nother fucking show.
Yeah, they should have never fucking done that.
If you have success, that's the thing. Okay, one of my biggest ones from the industry that I was paying a lot of attention to Walking Dead when it was coming out, and Frank Darabont, I think, is a really talented director and writer. I think he's fantastic, and I think he was doing a great job with it. And the studio turned around, and as soon as it was successful, they didn't want to freaking spend too much money on production so that they could make as much money on the back end. And so they kicked fucking Frank Darabont out, and he had all these great plans and stuff. He could have brought it to a conclusion, but instead the studio's been stretching it and stretching it and stretching it. Walking Dead was amazing.
Yeah.
And then by season 3, everybody's like, "Go fuck yourself."
No,
like, we're not dealing with it anymore.
So much I gave up on
I gave up on him too. It was
and
like,
I really liked
just
it.
end it. If you'd have brought it together and ended it, then they could have made the other spin-off one.
Yeah.
Then they could have done
Fear
that.
of the Walking Dead.
I would have been all in on that.
But I didn't watch it because I was already tired of Walking Dead.
Oh, right, exactly. It was like, you're already doing too much. Just finish Walking Dead and then do Fear of Walking. Just keep doing stories in that universe and changing them, but let them finish. Let them come to a conclusion. Let them naturally end. Let the audience enjoy the start, beginning, middle and end, and get out of there and not feel like they have to be waiting on you every fucking week. It's not what production is anymore. It's just not. It doesn't make sense.
Well, that's but now people can actually make a miniseries or a Netflix series or a YouTube, HBO series for books that were too long for movies. Like now you don't have to just choose one movie or a trilogy. You can now make a series of 6 episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there's a bunch of books that are now open to production.
Yeah, there's a bunch
could have
of
never been produced.
There's a bunch of very weirdly timed things that they're like, oh, that would be a great film, but you could never fit it in 2 hours.
Right. But now,
so Netflix
all you need is 4-hour episodes, and you got it. Yeah.
How about Dune, you guys? Come on, let's get a really good.
No, that's what I just like. So many sci-fi things are coming to my mind, I can't even throw them out. But it's just like, first of all, Battlefield Earth. I got to say, like that movie was so shitty.
But the problem my god, that movie
was. If you've read the book, though, like the book is fucking fantastic. I loved it. I
didn't read it, but I'm familiar with it.
I love it.
I know it has some roots in Scientology.
Well, the thing is if you don't know anything about Scientology, you can read the book and have a great time.
Yeah, because it's just sci-fi. And
my dad just gave it to me when I was like 15 or 14, I don't know, some
what the hell are you guys talking
age,
about?
Battlefield Earth. I knew that L. Ron Hubbard had written Scientology, but otherwise I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't heard anything bad about him, really. And then I read the book, and the book was great, and it didn't have any bullshit about religion or none of that horse shit. Nothing to do with Dianetics. It's just a really great story about an alien invasion of Earth and the people fighting them off. It's fucking fantastic. But the movie is so horrible because the Church of Scientology like just had their claws in it, and they were like, "We want this, and it can't be this, and we can't have that, and we want these specific things in it," and so like they ruined it.
It almost made me want to join Scientology, to be honest.
Wow.
That's
a
John Travolta in full
Okay.
makeup.
All right, Tom.
wait,
Cruise.
whoa. So if you want to enjoy the movie,
Well, it
obviously
made
watch
more
it on
sense than the
shrooms.
other religions. Made more sense than the other religions. Like, you know.
Actually, it does make a fair amount of sense compared to
Like,
any other
I only
religion.
mean by the gold thing. That makes more sense than like
What, the Thetans? and
Christianity's
No,
got a lot
the
going
whole
for
theory,
it.
like,
Taoism
the
has a lot
aliens
going
want
for it.
gold. I was like,
Buddhism has a
alright.
lot going
Oh, yeah.
for it.
Well, that's,
they really
uh,
worked on those myths for
A little bit better
really
than
long
heaven
time.
and hell shit.
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard actually wrote a different series called Mission Earth, which is all about an alien that's on the
I'm
planet
joining Scientology, guys,
that's
tomorrow.
helping mine the minerals.
I will
and
make
send
this
them
a
off.
Scientology
Oh, yeah?
podcast by Friday.
Yeah, and he like blends into a normal society,
He's
and
gonna
they
get
don't
your
know they're
Thetans.
aliens, and
Get
he's
your
like a
Thetans
total
in order.
fuck up, and he's doing all these grifts, and like
On
it's
this film,
actually
though, man.
again, it's funny, it's satire, it's a really good series.
I'm gonna give a
L.
shout
Ron
out-
Hubbard wrote great sci-fi. He wrote such good sci-fi, he was able to trick idiots into following his religion.
Why are people following a sci-fi writer like he's fucking Jesus?
Because he's so good of a writer, they didn't know it was fake.
Because
That's how because it's real obvious. Like this
I
guy
would
wrote
say-
all these fake books.
people are
Why would
puppets,
you
Erik.
believe this book?
I would say because he understood story, he actually
Yeah.
did his research. He wasn't full of shit. He did effectively prove his point.
I push
And
back on
people
that.
are
I think he
shitty.
was full of shit.
He was full of shit.
No. He
Yeah.
was full of shit
Yeah.
in one context, but in the
But he was
context
so
of
full of
context of I know I'm full of shit. Look
And
at
let me
what
sell
I
it.
can do.
Yeah, let me-
Yeah. Look how good I am at
Look
being
at
full
good
of
I
shit.
am. And he wasn't full of shit in that regard.
He's a genius, man. No joke. Like, he's a genius.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck it. How am I gonna make my money? Like, I'm done writing books. Might as well make a religion
It
out of
worked.
this.
I wrote a bunch
and
of
never
crazy
pay
shit down.
taxes again. Fuck
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's all it
there you
was.
go.
Is like it was a tax scheme.
Yeah.
He was just literally trying to
Well,
get out of
and now
paying
there's
taxes.
basically the entire state of Utah that kind of subscribes by that.
Good. Then
Sorry,
fuck
Utah.
'em. Fuck
Sorry,
Utah.
sorry,
Well,
Utah.
Fuck Utah.
Hold on.
Mormons, yeah.
Hold on. First of all, two different religions, but both great takes on
It's Hollywood.
from South Park.
It's
on
the
both of those.
Hollywood.
But
that big.
I'm gonna chime in, man.
Mormons are good people.
because they're actualizing their ability to get into the acting industry. Scientology's huge in that area because they're all.
dude, I highly recommend hanging out with Mormons.
I've met
I'm friends
like,
with
two
every
Mormons.
religion.
You can buy a 6-pack, you can bring Coke, you can bring weed. They won't do any of your drugs. You can just hang out with them and have a great time.
Dude, I'm gonna steal that joke.
No, that's too late. I mean,
I'm
that's
taking
already,
it. I'm
no,
taking
You
it.
can't.
Are they a good hang though?
No, our Charlie company was based out of Salt Lake City.
Oh wow.
God damn it. All right.
And so we're deploying to Afghanistan. We're like going to war, and there's these 22-year-old guys who like they're doing the military as their mission instead of going out and like knocking on doors and preaching and whatever. And so they won't drink a Coca-Cola, they won't look at a Maxim, and they're about to carry a rifle into combat. It's like, you're out of your fucking mind.
like,
What are you doing?
Do you want to live?
Just look at titties. Just look at goddamn titties. You might die tomorrow.
Yeah. Have you seen bubble porn? Have you seen
How's
bubble
it
porn?
going?
No.
So Mormons, it's called. I think it's called bubble porn, if I remember correctly. And what it is they take like a woman who's naked or even in a bikini, and this works with like you can take a
Oh, the
woman in a
Mormons.
bikini and you take a grid that like has holes cut out of it, so that the grid covers up the parts of her body. But since it has holes cut out of it, you imagine that there's a naked person behind the like pattern on
Just
top
watch
of
porn.
It.
Like,
Yeah,
at that
it's
point,
absolutely fucking crazy.
You don't understand
It's,
the
it's
lines.
like but when you look at it, it really does trick. Excuse me, it really does trick your mind to where you think that the person is naked behind the photo.
Let's just look at a naked person.
But at the same time, you do not understand the level that these guys will go to. Where you're like, yeah, look at my Maxim, and they're like, they will put their hand up
So they
A Maxim, a clothed magazine.
A clothed
Like-
magazine, and they're like, "This is sinful. I'm not going to look at it, and I will avert my eyes however I have
That's
to."
where
Do
religion's
you
a
think
problem,
they're allowed-
Eric.
They're pretty.
Do you think they're allowed to jerk off to the burkini? Sports
Like,
Illustrated?
they're allowed to jerk off
For
at all?
No, not at all.
For all
They
the
have to
people,
wear the special underwear. Yeah.
for all the people that are out there, I have my like one day out of the week where I'm insomniac or whatever. I will jack off.
Just the
It's-
one.
That's the one.
One day out of the week to
the
Sally
only day out of the
Field
week you jack off?
Field in the movie Lincoln.
What?
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah, that's classic.
Can't let
That's-
it go.
That's quite the matriarch. Quite the matriarch.
Now that film note,
Cersei. Cersei's my favorite.
I want to give a
matriarch
shout out
ever.
to
Good one.
Eric.
Who is?
Oh wait, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Cersei?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
at least.
Cersei.
I'm at least a
Okay.
couple seasons.
Oh,
in.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I wanna do
Cersei.
this.
Didn't do no
Cersei's
seasons of Game of
fucking
Thrones. I'm not a
incredible.
monster.
Are you kidding me? Like, can you imagine a mother more badass than Cersei? Like,
I mean,
Yeah. Have you met my mom?
no.
She's a cunt.
I said badass.
Yeah.
I didn't mean.
Same thing. That's the same fucking thing.
Okay.
She's badass as fuck. A ton of people love her and think she's awesome because she's so badass.
Oh, okay, sure. Whatever.
She's awesome.
I
She's
don't
awesome
know.
kind of a cunt.
I only know. I only know about her from your documentary. So.
Yeah, wow. Let's move on.
I think that's it on this film note, man. I think you should talk about your blog and talk about Children of Men, man. You were really going off on
I
that
love
for a
Children
while.
of Men.
Children of
but
Men.
here's a
We were
blog.
going to bring up Children of Men. It's an interesting film. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh,
Oh, God.
I love that movie.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, what's
a
your
lot
blog
going on.
about, man?
So it's about essentially movies and sports, but the blog post I posted Children of Men on is my favorite movies of the last 10 years, which I think is a very interesting thing to actually think about. Like, what are your favorite movies of the last 10 years?
Yeah, the most recent cinema. Yeah.
Yeah. And Children of Men, have you guys watched it recently?
I have.
I've watched it within the last like 4 years, I believe. Yeah, sometime.
I've watched it enough.
I've watched it a few times.
I've watched
yeah,
it enough
yeah.
times that I do not have to have viewed it
Yeah.
extremely recently.
Okay, yeah, okay, perfect. So it's extremely prescient, like regarding like the immigration in it. Like it's freaking crazy how like it came out in like 2003, 2004, something like that. And it's like there's a line where it's like, "Oh, you should see what they do to immigrants in this country," and then the other character responds like, "Oh, I've seen the cages."
Well,
yeah.
and actually,
True.
and when you
And then there's
mention that
cages and,
movie,
like, all those
when
things
you
that
mention
go-
that movie, that's actually some things that I picture when I think about the future of what immigration might look like. Like
Children of
like
Men?
I see images from that film specifically, but yeah, it's weird, man.
It makes some kind of sense to me. I think the really interesting thing about that film is this notion that humans can't reproduce anymore, so that we're actually cut off. We're not killing each other anymore, but like people are just gonna die. And there's not gonna be any new people. It's a very different paradigm shift. So from the beginning of that story, from the beginning of that myth, you're setting up the world in such an interesting way.
Oh yeah,
That's a movie I watched on.
I would love it, by the way.
first
No
time.
more new people. Oh my god, I'd be on a beach with a
crazy.
beer, man.
It's a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah.
Like nobody can have a child.
You know, the only
So I think the reaction of people in the movie is pretty close to what it would actually be like. Like obviously you can never know, but
Yeah.
I want to say two things. I like the fact that he didn't use a soundtrack. That was insane to me. Like there was only a few moments where I had a soundtrack. It was just left to your thoughts, and it was just pure dialogue. It was like
The other
nothing
thing is
back.
that there's
I love the
several
one shot.
there's several long shots.
Yeah, the
oh,
long
I
shots are
fucking
so-
love those.
There's
Oh
several
my
long
god.
shots in that are worth like studying.
Oh yeah.
Like they're amazing.
the car shot.
It's
yeah, oh yeah. That's
car-
one of the most
yeah,
ridiculous
the car shot's
long
incredible, and the one when they're in that
stairwell.
big battle. Yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
stairwell.
Oh my
That
god.
one's
That's one of my
fucking
favorite
insane.
scenes in like
the
movie
stairwell
history.
with the baby. So
Well-
they're in the battle on the streets, and they go all the way up to the stairwell, and they get the baby, and they're bringing the baby out,
All
and everybody's
one
all
shot.
one shot.
Ceasefire! Ceasefire!
That was a
Everybody's
good
like,
shot.
everybody's like, there's a baby.
The way-
and everything stops. It's amazing.
I had an editing
Yeah.
course that told me, okay, study the editing in this movie. And they didn't tell us why, they were just study the
Study it.
editing in this. And then when you do, you're just like, there's no
my-
cuts
yeah.
for so long. Like, how the fuck did they pull? And there are hidden cuts like in the car scene,
Yeah, but not overall.
they're just like so hidden.
Wow.
You
Digital
there's-
effects. That's
yeah.
that's my job.
Like,
I feel like I'm Clive Owen and Eric's that baby. I'm already fucking done,
but it's
man.
like the
My body's
first time I
beat up.
saw it, I couldn't see those cuts in the car scene. But
No, I've never seen them. I've never seen the
There's
cuts.
one in there that you can like,
Actually see.
yeah.
So how do you think they filmed it? I've always been curious. Do you think there's a camera in the middle of the car?
Yeah, coming down from like the
Okay.
top. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yep. Mounted
It's,
on,
but yeah,
able
like
to pull
Children
out.
of Men is one of them. Is a marvel of filmmaking.
The only thing that bothered me though is I never want to have children. I wish they would have showed the utopia of the guys that were like, "We told you," or like, and they're playing limbo.
No, that's not the point in the movie. That
I'm
would
just
be
saying. That's my that would be that other civilization.
I know, is that you got
That'd
that
be a very
space, you
dramatic
got that
tone shift.
spot that, like you go to why that's not interesting to you, but to, like that to me is almost this like horror film of like,
That'd be a good
there's
sketch,
no point
right?
to living.
That'd be a great
Oh,
sketch.
there's no point to living anymore. I
see,
can't
like,
make a baby. I can't reproduce. I can't go on. I can't, build civilization. I can't be a human being. That's it. That to me is one of the most interesting horror conundrums to introduce.
Yeah,
I found
it's a lot more interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
It's way more than something's coming to get you. Oh no, nothing's coming to get you. You're just gonna.
So I never vowed to have kids. So can you imagine like a director's cut where you see like this guy in the end, and you get into special features and they zoom in and it's like me going like doing the limbo and like, hey,
Why?
oh, huh?
I don't get it.
Cause so I have a good group of friends that we vow never to have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We're just
so
having a good
you're,
time.
you're just happy.
I
that
know a
that's
couple
how it is.
people. I
So
know
we're
a
having
couple-
an orgy on an island while everyone's like, dun, 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 dun. Come on, Clive, get her there,
Make the baby happen. P.S. And by the way, we don't give a shit.
Yeah. See, I'm Mexican. One time you sleep with a chick without a condom, that's 3 kids up front. So if I was in Children of Men,
Yeah, so when you say you're not having any children, you're taking that seriously.
I mean, did you notice that there was no Mexicans in that movie? They're on another country just reproducing. Who was Mexican? Black and white people. Black and white people can't reproduce. Mexicans were in Mexico fucking.
The director's Mexican.
Yeah, he's pretty white.
Yeah, but I guess this movie takes place after a day without a Mexican. And
Oh, so we're out.
That's fucking funny.
God, give a shout out to your blog, man. People should get to know your blog.
Damn it.
yeah, we don't do a commercial break now, so
Yeah.
just shout it out.
No, it's I really don't have a blog. It's
Oh,
called
but shout it out.
It's called Utterly Eric.
Utterly Eric. Oh,
Yeah,
I get
my
it.
last name's Utter. My first name's Eric, so my blog is called Utterly Eric.
I'm sure you never got made fun of.
Oh yeah, not at all, not at all. I never got called Utsack.
That one's not bad.
And actually, I don't know. Like, if people call me Utter, I actually like fucking take it as a badge of pride.
Like, like when
Yeah, it's
people
like
call me
last name,
Graham
right?
Cracker,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's real original.
What's your last name?
Graham?
Graham Cracker.
Yeah, real original.
Did you guys know that
Graham
one of my
Cracker.
first jokes ever, my rookie days up in Seattle, one of my first jokes was about Children of Men. I was like, man, you know how I know it's a racist movie? They're like, even in this futuristic time where people can't have kids, a dark person still gets pregnant. I'm like, fuck, man, really?
That's appropriate. Yeah. That's,
I was like,
I
God.
mean, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the movie, and we're gonna watch it because we talked it up so
We're
much.
at a point where like, fuck you, you've never seen it already.
I may have already spoiled it.
yeah. It's way
It
spoiled.
should already be spoiled for you. It's
would-
a good film.
You should watch it.
Yeah, watch it anyway. It's still a good movie.
If you don't already know what the fuck we're talking about with like humanity can't reproduce and then there's a baby and what are you gonna do with the baby? Because it's been 18 years since anybody had a baby and now there's a baby. Like that's an interesting story. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I had to.
I understand it as a minority. It's like it's really fucked up. Like I wish they would have like a director's cut where like, when did she get pregnant? They're like Compton. It was a party with a few 40s.
That's one of the weirdest things to me about when women talk about like patriarchy and power.
Here we go.
men,
We're getting your
or,
shit down,
like,
Jay.
Yeah, well, just think about it. Like, I don't understand it because everybody has relatives of a different sex. We all have two parents. Everybody.
Okay.
And like I had a woman telling me that like, hey, women are learning how to reproduce with just bone marrow and we don't need men anymore. And I was just like, okay, do I
Yeah.
have any stake in men?
Yeah, but you're only talking about a facet of society.
Like-
You're probably talking to some Berkeley assholes. And I have
But to
issues
me,
with
it's
them.
like, what stake do I have in men being around a couple generations from now? None.
Yep.
But when you're talking about genetic reproduction, then yeah, a lot of people want to have.
Yes, I want babies.
Yeah,
I
right.
have no babies that would like babies at some point.
Right.
don't want
So
babies.
that's a thing that like a lot of people want, and they should be allowed to do. But to me, it's like if you want to have kids, great. If you don't, great. But like, I don't get the thing of like, oh no, we don't need men. Like, okay, and
No, that's yeah.
I just don't. It's like, okay, you don't need men to reproduce.
does
Does
exist.
that?
I mean, at the most
And-
fundamental level, you do.
Yeah,
Like,
but like
yeah, but-
Jay, I'm not saying that like you're talking in general. You're
probably
talking
should.
about like a particular
Nature
faction
kinda
of
gave you a
humans. You
script.
know?
You should
Well,
probably stick to
Well,
it.
I have
they,
issues
like,
with
so,
same
so
sex.
the theory that this woman said was that they could use marrow from bones to reproduce without sperm, and that when they did that, the baby would be female every
Wow.
time. Therefore, men would be phased
That's
out.
crazy.
And
That's
to me, it's
crazy.
like, but personally, I don't have any stake
It does-
in men being phased out over generations. Because
Here's the
what
big-
do I care? I just
yeah.
don't
Here's
understand
the
why I
thing
should
is
care.
that
And what's the ultimate goal? Like,
Yeah.
what is that accomplishing?
Here's the thing: is
Yeah.
one, I get how it doesn't affect your life, but two, I also understand where that makes the human race unviable, and if anything outside of modern civilization ever came to be,
Now that might be if
Then
we
it
are
would
invaded by
instantly
aliens, that might be an
no,
issue.
it's not even invaded
Really?
by aliens. It's
Okay.
just a matter of like life got hard again, and we all had to try again.
I
and
believe
people
women
all
could
had to
handle it.
fucking work again.
I don't know. I
believe,
feel
believe
like
women
there's
could handle it if there were no men. Like,
Yeah,
I
if there's,
believe-
like-
In that situation, they're also going to be able to pull
Jump
out
in, Erik.
bone marrow and fucking make eggs
Yeah,
and make
jump in.
babies out of bone marrow in those. No, you can't. You don't have
well,
the
no,
science
no.
anymore.
What I'm saying
I'm
is,
talking about
Jump in.
society
Close enough.
collapses.
well, what I'm saying is, if the science was true and did work,
It is.
okay, the science is true. You can make a baby with bone marrow
Okay,
and just
here's
an egg.
here's the basics of the science. Is you're taking cells, you're reverting them to stem cells, and then you're converting them into egg cells. And so they're taking specific cells out of bone marrow and then converting them into stem cells and then converting them into egg cells or maybe gamete cells or whatever, and then merging them with the other egg cells. And so you have an X chromosome, you get a baby, and like, yeah, that makes
No,
sense.
well-
That makes sense. You could do that theoretically
you
on a cellular
could,
level.
but there's going to be people in love in a heterosexual relationship who have
yeah,
babies.
yeah,
way
yeah.
easier because
Yeah, and no, it's just gonna happen. You're right.
that's the point. That's the point that I was getting to was that was
Great
Only
point.
pointing in one
you
thing.
can't.
Oh.
It's so much easier to make kids that way. That in the future, no matter how society evolves, if that becomes a thing, still that biological reproduction is so much fucking easier.
Oh my god, yeah.
That
and,
like nobody's gonna do the other thing.
and
Like,
what?
why would you do the
Well,
other thing?
you can if you want.
And what kind of
But-
what kind of dystopia would it be where it wouldn't allow that? You know, like how dystopian would we have to get?
Seriously. Like, you're right. Like, that's how bad things would have to get before it's like, no straight sex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
right.
Whoa.
which is crazy because like no gay sex was an actual thing like
I guess
40 years ago.
I guess if you put it that way, if you put the fact that straight sex may be in danger legally, okay, now I care. Now it's like, now I do care about the future of men.
Well, and it's crazy to think because
point.
like gays like
fucking point.
sodomy was illegal in like Alabama, like I think in like 1970.
That's
or
true,
something.
yeah.
No, it was illegal in a few states until like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
No shit.
All
like,
the way up. Yeah.
States had there's probably still states with anti-sodomy laws on the books.
Yeah.
Like
At least on the books.
one.
They may not be being enforced, but they're
Yeah,
at least on the
They're
books.
definitely
Yeah,
not
yeah.
being enforced.
they're
However,
at least on the books.
However, if you get caught doing something bad and they want to, they could tack that on.
Yep.
That's one of the things that judges are what are you
Allowed to.
prosecutors will do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Wow, crazy.
Well, like for instance, if you were to sexually assault a person, they could add sodomy to that charge, and they do.
Wait,
Because fellatio, because it's other penetration, isn't it?
Any
Like it's
other
basically described as like
penetration.
any other penetration other than
That
that.
does include oral sex. Yeah.
So anything other than that.
So when it's on a book, on the books is sodomy, that does include oral sex, which is why a lot of states were like, "What the fuck?"
everybody's blowing everybody. What are you talking about?
Clinton broke that dam, man. I think I probably would have gotten way less oral sex
My favorite,
growing up. Had it
my
not been
favorite
for
president, though, by the way, would not have been legal without President
Cheers
Clinton.
to the great President Clinton, indeed.
He let the most majority of Latinos enter the country.
He smoked weed and then cracked down on drugs. What a great guy.
Yeah, the prison reform shit is a little problematic.
He also got his dick sucked and ate some pussy. Which, like, hey, man to man, I
He
get
put
it.
a cigar in some pussy.
And he made Mauricio legal.
He
ate
put a
pussy,
cigar in the
But
pussy.
he also ate the pussy, too.
Yeah, and then smoked the cigar. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that all goes together, yeah.
Is that like a whole thing?
Dude.
I had no.
That was the whole report. That
I
was
mean,
the whole thing.
that's the secret behind Cuban cigars, is, like, that's how they seal them. That's when they, yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, if it wasn't for Clan getting his dick sucked, I would never be legal. Thank you,
Cheers. Hey.
both Monica Lewinsky and Clan and Hillary.
Monica. What a piece of work.
She's 3 best movies you've seen in the last 10 years.
That's a good one. Let's go all around on that one.
That's really rough.
So-
Don't make me go first. Nothing's coming.
Yeah, you're gonna
nothing's
go-
come
you're
to,
gonna get
nothing's,
complicated.
nothing's come to the first. Nothing's
Right,
coming
Jay,
to
you're
the surface
first.
for me in the last 10 years. Let's see. We're 19, 20.
Zero theorem?
Okay.
The what?
Zero theorem.
20,
The Zero Theorem.
2009.
Yeah. By Terry Gilliam.
That
Wait,
was
sorry, I'm bad at my math. Let's just say in the last 10 years, what's the cutoff?
2009.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zero Theorem. I thought
Okay.
it blew my mind. Watched it on shrooms the first time. That seems to be a theme here.
Hey, I'm the shrooms guy. You're the acid guy.
Hey, I like.
I
both.
love Terry
I like
Gilliam on so many fucking levels. I have not seen it yet. Please, there's no spoilers, please.
Oh well, I mean, like, look, I'm not gonna. I don't want to tell you what the movie's about because to me that ruins half the fun of a Terry Gilliam film.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love that you just drop in and it's like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
happening right now?
Get your face in. Brazil is one of my. I love Brazil.
And I love Brazil. Obviously, Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys. Fucking fantastic. Time
The last 10
Bandits.
years?
Time
but
Bandits
no, yeah.
and Brazil are
Yeah.
still Brazil.
No, but we're saying last 10 years, 3 movies,
Like, that's
man.
one of my favorites. Like
I
I
love
really,
Brazil.
I have
But
a
we're
lot
saying
of
last
my
3
favorite.
years, last 10 years, 3 movies. That's what you're up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I
In
mentioned.
the 10 years, though.
I know. So Zero Theorem.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Elizabeth Harvest because I just watched it and it was really good. And I don't think it's probably not that great, but it's a horror movie that was really not what I was expecting, and I really liked it. And I'm just gonna go with another horror movie I really liked, which was 31 by Rob Zombie, and it's fucking great. It's about people that got caught in a maze, like that's made to kill people.
Okay.
And it's fucking, and they have like the most scary, the coolest killer clowns that have ever been on film. So, like, I love it. 31 is.
So that's
fucking
your 3?
great. Sure.
All
They're
right.
the 3 that came to mind.
I want to jump in. So I want to start with the lighter ones. Ex Machina, I like, damn, I'm a big fucking fan. Dude, you have no idea how much of a fan I am of, like, human and robot love. Like, I've read shit from, like, Japan from the
I
40s
guess I haven't
on that.
seen that. Okay.
It is really good. And Oscar Isaac is my main actor of
Fucking
these
love
top
Oscar
3.
Isaac.
And so then I go, my second one is going to be, God damn it, I just had it in my fucking head. Fine. My main one that I want to talk about is Inside Llewyn Davis. Nobody has seen this fucking movie. It's a Coen Brothers movie. They signed with Studio Canal, independent studio. And it's about the Bob, a little bit before Bob Dylan entered the era for folk music in New York, and Oscar Isaac's in that too. Man, that is so good on so many symbolisms, and they get Justin Timberlake to sing 500 Miles, my favorite song of all time.
What's it called again?
Inside Llewyn Davis.
I need to see this. I love the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't seen it already.
If you like the Beat Poet generation and folk music, you're gonna love this movie. And I keep recommending it. No one wants to watch it. It's like, it's pretty intense. Like, yeah.
That sounds great.
And it's usually
sounds interesting.
And the main
is
theme
it on
of
Netflix? Where is it?
I don't know where it's at as far as streaming, but like the main topic is
If that was on Netflix, I'd watch that tonight.
yeah, it's about the folk musicians technically that quit before Bob Dylan started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because we all give Bob Dylan props, but I'm a firm advocate to be like, there's all these folk musicians before him that were creating this prolific type of music, you know?
What's his name? Lou Reed was great.
Or I'll say like Pete Seeger, you know? Or Woody Guthrie, you know?
Guthrie, fuck yeah. Oh, is Guthrie one of the ones in the film?
No, but I mean, they have symbolisms of certain people.
Oh, okay.
I think
get
that
you. I understand what you're saying.
It is a really good movie, man. And they get Justin Timberlake to get on a acoustic and sing folk music. That guy broke my heart, man.
What's another one?
All right, my third one, man. That's the one that. Why am I fucking blanking out all of a sudden? All right, you said 2009, right?
Yeah, 2009 no.
Is the cutoff?
I have 3 of the weirdest films.
Yeah, I basically went for films that people probably haven't heard of, or that don't know that. That's why.
If you don't have a third,
Oh no, the third one is gonna be the. I can't remember the name right now, but it's about the first. No, it's gotta be The Theory of Everything. There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, there
Everything is really good.
Yeah.
Good
And
choice.
a side shout
Is that
out.
really less than 10 years old?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Okay.
2009 is the cutoff,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
think it's legit.
Yeah, sorry, undercover
No,
cop.
I'm just wondering.
I'm just being real.
My time.
Legit question.
That's my 3.
Dude,
So-
don't get mad at me for asking a question I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, but you're an undercover cop. All right, Eric's next. All right.
So my 3, first one is your name, Japanese name Kimi no Nawa, which is my favorite movie of all time. Is an anime movie. It's like a romantic kind of
is that
story.
what we saw?
Yeah, that's the movie we saw.
Cool.
Second, and this is an extreme. Like everyone I've talked to doesn't like this as much. Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to
Well, I
bother
haven't
you.
seen it.
Sorry to bother you.
That sounds familiar.
Which one, is that a comedy thing?
Yeah, it's kind of a comedy.
No,
thing.
I think I've seen it. I think
Yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
it's set in Oakland. It's the guy from Get Out, Lakeith Stanfield.
Right.
And my best friend worked
Yeah,
on it.
no.
seen
It's I'll have to look at it again. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, and then third. Oh crap! I had one in my head.
The third's the worst.
See, that's why I wrote them down. I had,
Yeah.
I had time. I'm stoned. I had time. See, I'm a
third,
good
you know
stoner.
what? Third, I'll go Mad Max Fury Road.
That was actually
love
really
that
high
movie.
quality. That movie was really high
Better
quality.
than the original.
As somebody who came into the industry from visual
Well, you thought the
effects,
original was better?
but
Which
also
Mad
appreciates
Max, that
practical
damn
effects.
road or whatever?
That
Thunderdome
was-
is better.
a beautiful symmetry.
How?
Like that's one of those films where like they brought the two
How?
together.
What's that?
Wait,
fucking
first of all, there's
technically
3 movies
and mechanically,
before.
like they understood
With
what
Tina
they were doing
Turner?
on such a fucking
That's
level.
the one.
It's
I hate that fucking.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I never felt like
They
it
had,
was
like, little
animated,
kid
and I
soundtrack,
always
yeah.
felt like it was real, which is like, and of course
Fuck
it
that,
wasn't.
man.
but,
I
love
like,
it.
yeah,
Great movie.
I thought the
that's-
first one was good.
I never felt like it was like a. I never
to
felt
my
like it
world.
was like
Mad Max
Avengers.
or Mad
you
Max
know?
Road
Like,
Warrior?
Yeah, but that's
I
the thing
hated
is
Road Warrior.
So you only like the first
that's good effects.
Yeah.
That is
I hated
genuinely
Road
good
Warrior.
effects.
You know why?
When it looks
Because
practical.
the minute
when
he
it-
went off road, they stopped
practical.
chasing
Yeah.
him. They went
That's
this
a
way.
fucking
I'm
good
like,
effect.
fuck
Like
that.
when my effect,
That's
White people
hilarious.
don't know how to kill
or when
a
somebody
person.
like sees something I made and they don't even notice, I'm like,
That's a good
you thought it
reason
was
not
real.
to like it.
Well, at the
It
end,
just
I
went
still
right
go-
by you.
It goes off road.
I win.
Like, oh, mission successful.
Mission successful. I win.
I hope this double conversation was successful.
We'll
I hope
see.
it was.
I think we're all light enough.
Yeah, I think we were. We'll see how that goes.
The thing is that it might be
Comment on this
it
video.
might be
How did that
audibly,
go?
It might be audibly interesting for the listeners because they could like roll back and be like,
Maybe.
listen to one side and then
I
roll
hope
the
so.
other way and then listen to the other side and then like I don't know. We're
I hope it
experimenting.
plays
We're
out
just
that
having
way.
fun.
Son of a bitch, man.
Some old bitch. What film? Oh, my films.
Where are we at?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm going to start on the bottom. I really love science fiction films. I really love low budget science fiction films, and I thought that Moon.
Oh yeah, that's
Moon
fantastic.
was one of the best films I've seen the past decade. Without easily one actor, this other voice act.
Yeah, replace
Such
one of my
low-
top 3 with Moon. That
It's
was
so
great.
low production value that as somebody
brilliant.
who produces things, the value, especially with the miniatures and the way they shot those, and I'm understanding the amount of budget they were able to pull that under, and the amount of production quality
Have you
they were
seen
able to
Moon?
achieve. It's one of the. It's
seen Moon.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
Seriously, no, that one. Yeah, I would put that in my number. I forgot that came out within the last. I just, like I said, named the first 3 that came to mind.
And that was the
they're
thing.
great
Is,
movies,
I wanted a second
but
to
like
think
Moon
about it. But
is
I also,
fucking fantastic.
I also wanted a second to think about which categories I would think about that are most important for me. Like I would think about the category of films. So like if I'm going to think about my 3 top films from the past decade, the way that I would go about that.
All my beer's gone.
No, the way that I would think about that is by.
They are, Jay.
I would go by what
Let it
films,
go.
what types of films are important to me. This type of film, this type of film, this type of film. Okay, pick a number 1 from each of those. That was the way that I went about
Yeah,
that.
good
So
idea.
then, social documentary and military documentary are my other 2 categories.
Oh yeah.
And so I think Restrepo was the military documentary.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Restrepo is. It's an interesting film. There's another film that's a little darker that I don't think people could consume as accessibly. Especially because there's a guy who got shot in the fucking head and they're trying to carry him out to the medevac and like, it gets dark. But
I've heard about that one. What-
I forget the name of that film. I would not recommend that to the casual viewer. It was rough for me, and I've been there. And
Do you
so,
think
like,
that makes it easier or more
Easier.
hard? Really?
Easier.
You think so?
I think it makes it easier.
Okay.
It might actually make it harder. You might be right. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that for the casual viewer, it's so abstract. You're just like, whatever. It's just something on the television. Fuck it.
Possibly. Like I haven't
Possibly.
seen it. Now I guess I have to see it and tell you.
Yeah. That you're just like, oh hey, remember when Kim Kardashian did that thing? It's just like when this guy's carrying him to the helicopter. Hey. And it's like, but that's what's going on.
No, see, I'm
As
not
a veteran,
one-
that's literally what the fuck is in my head. Is like you're just as entertained as by like a medevac is just as entertaining as Kim Kardashian's ass. Fuck all of you
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
much right now.
Well, like, dude, I wanted to talk about this, and that's what blew my mind about all the people like joking about stolen valor on Memorial Day.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. That was a weird tweet.
Yeah, like,
how'd that work out?
Somebody was
He had a response, and there was this thing about veterans and blah, and it seemed like this person was like being like, stolen valor is hilarious, where like somebody dresses up like a veteran and fucking pretends like they did stuff when they didn't do anything. And
I hate those people.
So
man.
basically,
Wait,
somebody
Donald
just
Trump?
made a
No.
joke on Twitter
We
that
never went
was
anywhere.
like,
We
'cause
know that.
I made fun of stealing. I was like, wow, look at this adult saying that stealing is cool, type of thing. And then
Yeah.
somebody was like, oh, well, my kids steal. I teach my kid to steal, and they steal valor. They said it's a stolen valor Marine. Who's and
Which
whatever.
I don't even know what
Whatever.
that is.
Point being is it was a stolen valor joke, and I thought, oh wait, this is Memorial Day. That's a pretty shitty thing to be joking
yeah,
about
fucking
on
around
Memorial
about it.
Day. So I retweeted it saying that's
And,
not
and then he got all these people who were chiming in going
Yeah.
like, stolen valor's hilarious, fuck the military, blah, blah, blah. And it was
like
like
20 responses or something.
it was there like enough that you were like,
Like I didn't realize
whoa,
this
what the-
existed.
Like there's a bunch of people who would like think like are there's pro stolen valor people out there.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I don't even know what that means. What's
Please
pro stolen
explain.
valor?
Somebody who thinks it's like the military and what they're doing is so bad and so terrible that anybody that puts on the uniform and go out and acts like a dumb soldier, a dumb stupid soldier, like fucking, like that's funny.
Well, so basically what they're so what
think it's
what
funny.
he's
I
talking
don't know.
stolen
I
valor.
don't get it either.
Stolen valor is trying to pretend like you served when you didn't. basically.
Oh, for sure.
That's essentially the
whoa,
basis of what
whoa.
stolen valor is.
That's what stolen
It's
valor
pretending
is. No,
to
stolen
be
valor is
somebody who served and
Okay,
never.
You can go buy uniform pieces. You can I have my uniform and all that shit. You can go and buy everything that I have in my fucking closet as a uniform. You can dress up exactly like me as a Marine.
It's called surplus.
You
can buy
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that we
You
used
didn't
to have
earn it.
Yeah.
You could do it.
You could buy it. You can
Yeah.
put it on. You can go out, and people will say thank you for your
Wow.
service.
Yeah, and some fucking assholes do that shit. And the other thing about it,
And
That's so
restaurants
fucked
give
up. That's
discounts.
so fucked up on so
Restaurants
many
give
levels.
discounts, and they could do that. And but legally,
It's like,
it's a
so
real
you get
term.
10% off. Is
Yeah.
that worth you
Yeah.
being a piece of shit?
Yeah.
but some guys will just put on, because you could put on like fatigues in some neighborhoods, in some districts, in some areas. There's enough of a military presence that you can just put on fatigues. You just put on the fucking camouflage with the boots. You know what to wear. You have the right haircut. You know how to walk.
it's
you know
true,
how to
man.
act.
I
And
dealt
then
with
you just
that
get a
in
discount,
Seattle.
and they just do it.
And there's a reason that it's a legal term, and that's because there's veterans benefits and stuff, and if you try to get any of that, or really if you sit out there with a sign that says, "Hey, I'm a vet, give me money," and you're not a vet, to me that's stolen valor. That's the same shit.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah. Oh
shit.
yeah.
Same
Yeah.
exact shit. And these people, to my shock, were like, yeah, it's really funny to steal valor. Ha ha ha. Maybe
I
they're
didn't
just
get that
trying to
either.
be
We're still
edgy
trying to
or
understand
whatever.
where the
I don't
I just
understand the
didn't-
humor.
Yeah. It's wow, this
And
is a thing you're
I'm
joking
not gonna lie,
about.
it is kind of
I have a dark sense of humor. I don't understand
I
that.
even get it if you're.
It's kinda
I-
funny.
I get if you're against
You
military.
gotta see the humor in it.
No,
though.
I get.
I don't condone it, but it's kind of funny.
Yes.
I mean, I get
It's
that some
funny
of the
in the-
jokes were just like,
the
I'm
pathetic.
just.
Well, it's like 30 rhyme scoundrels in a way. It's like it's kind of funny, you know.
Yeah, and then you're like, there's these
If you do-
pathetic
if you make
people
the
who
joke
want.
right,
it's,
sure.
It's a pathetic joke.
Not
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
same.
If you make the
Well,
joke
not,
right,
not to
sure.
the same
It's
level.
a pathetic joke.
Not
where
to the
you're
same
making
level.
Fun of somebody for your
But not to the same level. But there was a guy in Seattle that was very diva-ish, kind of homosexual black guy, kind of chubby. He would be like, give me change, right? They would give him change. And he just that was so beneath him. He just throw the change on the ground, just
That's
keep
actually
walking.
pretty funny.
I thought it was hilarious. So I kind of,
I think that's
I
pretty
kind of
funny.
take that to the same extent. You know?
So I have a similar strategy, which is if I have pennies in my pocket and somebody asks me for change, I will say I have a penny, which is true. I have more change than that. And if they refuse my penny, toodaloo. However, if they say,
I like this.
if they,
that's good.
if
It's
they
good-
hold their
it's a
hand
good
out,
chess
they get
strategy.
all the change.
Jay, you're so Robitussin. That's all I can
No,
say,
dude,
man.
that's gentlemanly.
Oh, wow.
I feel like that's gentlemanly.
I like to call it sagely, but sure.
Yeah, sagely, gentlemanly, whatever.
It's a homonym. You know?
Yeah,
That like
true.
that like being like, oh well, I only have a penny. If you will take the one coin, you can have all the rest of the
Yep.
coins. I just didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's a test. It's a test.
Yeah, exactly. If you're willing to take the penny, here you go.
Fucking solid move.
Thank you.
Who wants pork roast sandwiches?
Now, is it that time?
I think we're getting there.
All right. So, what do you guys
what
want to
does
plug?
What does the computer say?
Yeah. What is
Because I can't read from here.
what does the timing on that video say?
203.9 MB.
2
No,
hours?
no, that's he's reading off the title. Don't worry about it.
126.33.
Okay. Yeah.
120. I think we're good, you guys.
Is that it?
I think
Well, no, we
well,
can come back and record.
We can come
more.
back.
We're just we want to
need
make
to take a
sure.
break.
Yeah.
We need to record everything. We need to lock everything down. Everything's recording for so long for how long this
We
equipment
just want to
records
ensure
that
everything
we've
works.
lost things
So
before.
it's done. So it's done.
We'll
we got to
see.
go out
No.
somewhere.
Yep.
Do you have anything? No, that's what do you
That's
want
what we
to
were
plug,
coming from.
man?
I plug Hotel Utah, June 11th, man. That's my big shot.
June 11th.
Hotel
Yeah.
Utah, nice man.
What's
That's a
going
good
on there?
spot.
Yeah, I'll be going up last, and it's gonna be my shot to prove my worth to that venue.
Last shot.
Are you doing stand up?
Yeah, of course I'm
How
doing
long you
stand-up.
doing? How long you set you doing?
I want to say it's gonna be probably like 15 minutes, but
Nice.
it's gonna be enough to prove. I gotta prove you in the attendance.
You're gonna
too.
wreck 15.
No, dude,
You're gonna destroy
Hotel
15.
Utah is awesome.
I've been
man.
training right now, man. I hope you guys like my new
I feel like you're
jokes.
calling a shot.
Dude,
Like,
your new jokes were fucking killer.
Yeah, mine are
I'll
like-
fucking say that.
I hope everyone loves my new joke about throwing a brick at the Academy of Art. And my name is Erik Utter. Fuck yeah, man. What's your plug, man? Plug your blog, man.
Oh yeah, my blog is Utterly Erik. I haven't posted in about 2 years, but yeah.
And this is my boy. We're gonna start a sports podcast by at least like straight up July, August. It's gonna be called Mauricio and Eric's Just Another Point Sports Podcast. Go Blazers!
And
So
Eric
come back.
Eric is reminding me that I need to start posting on my blog, which is blogspot.removed-from-reality.com.
So,
I see what you did.
so when you launch your
Mauricio, go Warriors.
It's real though. It's
when
real.
you launch
It's
your
real.
when
It's
you
really
launch
there.
your new web podcast, you need to come on here and let people know that it's live.
I
and where to
really
find
and
it.
I
And you
really
should
do.
probably say,
no,
fuck
I really do.
Portland, go
I really do
Warriors.
also have a blog. I'll tell you about it on the break. It gets crazier than that. We need to take We fucking need
Probably
to
say go Warriors.
Follow
motherfucker.
Acid Smooth on all social media networks.
Dubs.
Hit subscribe because you listened this long. You better fucking subscribe.
That makes sense to me.
And also, I know you're listening to this because you are hoping I'm going to mention you, and this is you.
Don't trust Tyler. Oh,
Welcome back.
This is silence this.
thank you, Jay.
Where'd your energy go? You just seriously went from like 10 to 2.
It's all that,
Like,
it's all that damn robotism.
did the robo tripping kick in?
No. I'm here. I was just enjoying myself. You got a problem with that,
No.
officer?
No, I'm just worried about the audience members who don't know what the fuck's going on in your
All right, well, let me throw out a topic. Did you guys hear the Blues Clues is coming back?
No, we're talking about communism. God damn it! We're back to talk about communism.
Blues Clues, like he said.
Same shit. What do you think about reboots? That should be a topic right now.
No, we're talking about communism, which is often rebooted and fails every single time.
When has
No,
it been rebooted?
I like what you did there. That's pretty good.
All right, so what shows do you like that are rebooted or TV and movies?
Thought we were
No,
coming back on socialism.
yeah, that's what we're talking about. So, to me, like,
There's so much to say on this.
I argue against socialists often because I'm a centrist, but I tend to lean left. So I'm arguing with
Okay.
my own kind. And so what I'm doing is saying,
Because they
like,
get
you guys are
ridiculous.
too
Too
extreme, and this is why.
We need some of this, but not that much.
So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
Wishbone
So-
should be rebooted.
But what happens is since that's the conversation I'm having most because I'm friends with more people who lean that way.
Lean what way?
Socialist. Like
Okay.
I know like actually
up socialist.
so what it is I know people who consider themselves anarchists, but they're all socialists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like that I have no respect for.
Yeah.
So my parents kicked me out into the desert and all that shit when I was 17, and then I joined the military. So I know people who are very not socialist. They're very libertarian. They're very like, hey, you have to fend for yourself and you'll be fine. You can figure out your own ability to survive.
Which desert?
Fuck the government. Don't worry about the government. You go live on your own, and the less government, the better. Because then you can just do what you need to do to survive. That's the world I come from.
And
I come from Wishbone.
well, I appreciate both perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Like I appreciate
They're both legitimate.
that some
Yeah.
people come from a perspective of the biggest contributor to their life has been government.
Yeah. Well, and
And
also the
so-
regulator
But
of how
who-
much they can, how the way the world works, the rules of how much money they can make for their and their tax. Like the rules is the government. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes a lot of times that ends up restricting people,
yeah.
as we've seen. And so to me, I like capitalism tempered
I don't.
by socialism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I like. Why would you?
That seems like a logical combination. It's worked well because then the overly, I mean, unless it's polarizing too much right now, then theoretically the top end ends up feeding back to the bottom end, and so the socialist goodness stuff is happening at the bottom end and allowing somebody to get to the top end, and people are still able to capitalist succeed and get to the top end,
Well,
but then they're feeding, like, it's like it
So
builds
to-
a
yeah, it-
feedback loop, so
so-
it should work out.
Well, let me explain. Yeah, you're right. And what I'm talking about is when I say capitalism tempered by socialism is
Yep.
I understand that capitalism is inherently greedy and can be taken advantage of, and that's why I think tempering
I
it
would
with
argue
socialist.
that's exact, like,
That's
to
by
a
design.
profound degree, that's what's happening right
Oh,
now.
no, by design.
Yeah.
I would say that's what capitalism is.
Well,
It is a system in which the better exploit you can find, the more you will be rewarded. And I think that is actually its inherent good.
yeah, because and here's why.
Wait, you mean like that's inherently? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So to me,
I mean, there's bad from it, but there's enough good that.
You guys
We're
gotta
not
watch Wishbone.
well, when
do.
to me when I discuss this with people who claim to be anarchists but are off very socialist
White
and end up
people.
being communist, to me the thing is and they're always white. That is true. I'm not going to pretend that's not true. I get down to a bottom point where they seem to believe that people will just go farm things because they want to. They say I say okay, so who's gonna go if nobody has to work? Who's gonna go grow the food? And they say, well, have you ever met somebody who wants to have a garden? I was like, yeah, I know people that have their own private
It's a lot of
gardens.
fucking work.
And it's like, and
White
then
people.
but it's like, do you know anybody who has their own private garden that they live off of
Well, here's the thing.
and that feed other families
off.
off of exclusively?
Here's the thing: is that gardening is a lot of fucking work.
Well,
And
do you
part
know-
of what we've done as a society with the agrarian society and building out of that is that we've distributed the work and we've revalued other types of work. We've
Right.
abstracted other types of work, and people get
And
paid
that's
and
we
earn
value
value
it
for
via
other-
monetary compensation.
And so, like,
Yeah.
I get where modifying the system becomes an appealing thing, but like, no, people want to work. People do want to do
Yeah,
things. People
that's
are
my-
In a
inherently
way,
interested,
yes.
Like,
I don't want
I
to
mean,
work.
and being productive. No. You're thinking of work. You
I
wanna,
hate it.
You want to
Well,
play
we're here
though,
today.
don't you?
Yeah,
We're,
You
see,
wanna
we're
play,
here
though,
today
don't you?
doing this, right?
Yeah,
we're
this is
all
work.
here today
This is
doing
work.
this.
This is work.
So,
We're
like,
working
we are
right
all
I'm playing,
volunteering
guys.
to do
And see,
this.
that's what I'm saying is that play and work are essentially the same thing as far as nature is concerned.
Mauricio's like Wishbone, man. That's what you're not getting.
But do you get what I'm saying? That like play and work, as far as nature is concerned, the reason that you play as a child is so that you learn to enjoy the work that you have to do as an adult. Like that's the reason that a child enjoys playing, is that they can then, as an adult, go, oh, I need to go out and do this, and I'm gonna go and like I'm gonna accomplish the next. Like you're learning that mental pattern
So-
about I'm going to go out and do a thing that seems menial and pointless.
Well, here's-
but I'm going to accomplish something on a large scale. That's what you're teaching.
Let's look at this. Let's look at what we're doing right now. I enjoy this. I love doing this. But I could be at home playing Overwatch.
Oh,
I
that's
could.
Awesome. It's awesome.
I
It's awesome.
could have eaten a lot of hash today
Yeah.
and stayed home and played Overwatch and drank tequila. And, like, that's a thing I would have really had a really good time doing also.
Sounds
And
like it's for bullshit.
But am I going to make anything off of that? Who else is going to benefit
Is
off
your
of that?
life gonna
No,
progress?
yeah, right? Like,
Is something going to happen forward in your life?
but
that
I
you
love
might-
it.
Yeah.
But I
It
love
might
it.
if you join a gaming league.
So if somebody
Maybe
is gonna
possibly.
just give me the same benefits that I would get from anything else for staying home, eating hash, and playing Overwatch,
You just sit
I'm
home and eat.
gonna play Overwatch.
Okay, so this is
Yeah. No, I know.
what I think where video gaming is going, and where gaming in general, and augmented reality, and Pokemon Go, and what I'm like Arg Zombies.
Fuck
which we haven't
Pokemon
talked
Go.
about that much.
Arg Zombies.
But like
Download Arg Zombies.
where we're going with all of this stuff is that life itself is going to become a game, and then you're going to earn some sort of minimum basic income, but the amount that you get, like the way it's structured right now sucks, because the amount that you get should be based on how much you're improving yourself, because the better you get as a person, the better you're able to contribute to society. And so like,
I mean,
this system is called karma.
This is almost like you're actually
you're like codifying karma.
Your
And then-
money-
No, that's what we
monetary-
need to trademark the name.
your monetary salary is
Somebody
like
already has.
disconnected, like
Fuck,
or
we need to invest in that
not
company.
necessarily related to like, you know, like the time you put in,
Karma
or like
coin.
you know,
That's
or
it.
your like virtual reality currency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that
Karma
currency
coin.
itself is
I'm
already,
calling it all karma coin from
currency
now on.
itself is already virtual. It's already not based in anything other than everybody else's faith in it. And,
Oh, yeah.
and what it's exchanged for on a daily basis on certain markets, because that's what somebody's willing to pay for it today. It's all bullshit. It's all a human
It's
invention.
an extremely slow-moving stock market.
It's an
stock
idea.
market.
The whole fucking thing is just the way certain people are willing to think. They could just stop thinking that way.
Yep.
Everybody could just stop thinking that way. You could just all stop thinking that way and think a whole other way. That is not reality. It does not mechanically, biologically, physically work that way. It's money. It's invented. It's an idea. You can move it any fucking way you want it to.
Yep. It's we all put worth in this, so it has worth. Otherwise, it would not have
You guys
no
gotta
worth.
watch
the way-
more Wishbone.
Buy Florin coin.
Also, you can donate to the show in Dogecoin.
And Dogecoin.
Also, you can follow us on Mind.
Minds?
Dot
Super into
silence
crypto.
this. And
But Florin Coin has been the
Give us-
the
yeah, give
crew
us
that I'm
Minds
mostly
tokens.
working with, and what they're working on is it's a data publication platform that operates. I should be saying it to them.
I'm telling them to give us Minds
Minds Coin. Okay,
yeah,
Dogecoin.
Minds
I-
tokens.
So Florin Coin, what they're doing. So like HTTP is the website, right? So that's the markup that you're looking at the website through. And so they're working on something that runs below that, where they're delivering the media. So it would be like the advertisements or the videos or the photos or whatever. But they're working on this. I mean, once you put it on the blockchain, it becomes very deep in the way that anybody that loads it gets automatically paid, and so they're trying to navigate all that structure.
You changed, Tyler.
It's a very interesting space. It's like YouTube and any other, but it has interesting implications where like these remixes, like take somebody remixes somebody else's song, and could you imagine if built into the code, built into the mix of the song, how much they got paid for their baseline contribution, or like whatever was just built into the way that you
Oh shit!
Wow.
Well, yeah, that
rendered the
opens up a
song.
whole can of worms.
Holy
like,
shit, man.
like.
That I mean, like,
You just blew some fucking minds, dude.
well,
You know,
I mean,
That's
so-
cool, right?
People
You could
have
just
now
download
we now we have to
No, I
tell
don't
people
think so.
listen over an hour because your mind is gonna fucking explode.
Yeah.
Tyler is gonna blow some fucking shit apart.
But
Watch Wishbone,
That's not.
guys.
That's not
Also watch
that
Wishbone.
fucking crazy.
no, I mean, but
It's really not. If you understand computers and code and tech and the web and the internet
No,
and the way that
that's
things
fucking
work,
mind-blowing,
it's
man.
really actually not that intimidating. It seems kind of inevitable. It seems kind of fucking inevitable. How did you get away from it?
Wait. Think about this. This is like the opposite of the deep fakes. Have you heard
Yeah.
about deep fakes?
It's the opposite. That's exact. It's the opposite of deepfakes. You can't. It's reality. We finally actually have reality. It's truth.
Yeah.
We have truth. We can
Yeah.
prove it. We can keep it. We can hold it.
There's a history.
On the internet.
It all exists.
And we can
there's-
recheck it and check it and check it and check it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the opposite of fucking deep fakes, where like they upload,
Somebody put
Have you-
something on
do you- Are
Twitter-
you familiar with deep fakes?
oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna explain for our viewers in
Okay.
case they don't know.
I miss being
Deep
lied
fakes
to.
is like the ability to. Joe Rogan is like a great example. They can make him say anything. Like you can find videos like where they purposely took him and his voice and they just made him say all the kinds of different shits. Like that's where I heard about these deep fakes because they chose him because he would
has
talk
so
about
much.
it. Yeah.
I would love that, Tyler.
But
Yeah.
it's insane.
You get it. You've done enough mushrooms. I think that you get it. Like.
This is my own thoughts, man.
No. The
You're
thing
just
is that,
telling me things
already
I
got
thought
off that
about
high,
years
huh?
ago.
well, here's the thing: is that like I also
You're just
see
verifying
the
it.
merging with that sort of like psychedelic world where it's like, oh, the world's just a game. I can just play.
It's a ride.
It's a ride.
As
but
Bill
also,
Hicks said.
Also, I have
Listen
to pay
to Bill
attention
Hicks
to
and
what
you don't
points
listen
I'm
to
learning,
anything
what
else.
battles I'm
And
choosing.
there are
and, like,
consequences.
and there's consequences to making bad choices. I have to recognize those and change my decisions and start going down different paths and pursuing different goals.
And if we just
putting my
watched
time
Wishbone,
elsewhere and-
no one would have to go through this shit. I watched it high the other day.
What the fuck is Wishbone?
Yeah, I was
Where
gonna
can
say
I
I've
see
never
this?
even heard of that
What
movie.
the fuck is
Like,
Wishbone?
what-
It's a little dog.
It's
That's
a-
the
it's
main
a-
character in every book.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Have you
It's-
guys never seen Wishbone? I know
No.
exactly what he's talking
I'm
about.
writing a
Is it movie
script.
or
I've never
a
seen
show?
Wishbone.
It's a PBS series.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, it only had a couple of seasons. The main character was a Jack Russell.
Did you watch every episode?
So the fact
or
that my
just-
dog is half
Jesus.
Jack Russell, that's what he's talking.
My boy.
So
He's
watch
very-
Wishbone
Oh,
on shrooms.
wow, okay,
I
now
guess.
this is actually making a little more
Watch
sense.
Wishbone on
Okay.
shrooms.
Because Wishbone teaches us that every tale is the same.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
And so does Joseph Campbell.
That's not true at all. All the tales are different.
No, they're not.
Dude,
How are they?
in the
not.
80s, my mother told me,
Monomyth.
like, if you've seen
Single
one...
myth.
Yep. The
Like,
hero's
when I was
journey.
curious about what a vagina looks like,
Right
my
there.
mother told me, like, if you've
literally
seen
have
one,
that
you've
book.
seen them all.
Vaginas look different right now.
Well, that's
Jay.
the thing, is that was the 80s, and they had
Oh,
full
yeah,
bush
the
back
hero with
then.
1,000 faces.
And they
We
did
have
all
different
look the same.
looks,
But
Jay.
now that they shave,
Just
you
accept
can
that
tell they're
Wishbone
all
was
different.
right.
You're wrong.
No, but I watched a documentary
Wishbone
on
was right.
You should read it.
I don't
Yeah?
know. I can't.
can
I
have
can't.
it.
I
It's a
cannot
garbage old copy. You
confirm
can take
nor
it home with
deny
you. I don't care.
that Wishbone was right.
was
'Cause I
right.
have not
Yeah,
seen
it's like a
Wishbone.
His
Yeah.
portrayal of Robin Hood
Okay.
was amazing.
You studied.
Was
Take
it?
Yeah.
Was it better than Daffy
Read it.
Duck's?
The monomyth.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yep, the monomyth, man.
Better than
It's
Daffy
good.
Duck.
A fake paw
If I
stabbed
wanna
the
know
man in
So,
the heart.
so I have the combo of film major, history minor. So this is-
Okay.
You gotta.
What
How
about
have
what
you not
about
read
better
that?
than the Fox? What about better than the Fox? Did he
No,
do?
man, I'm tapped out, man. I have no more truth.
He's out.
Out of truth. That's a rough place to be.
That's a great place to be.
That's an ending place to be.
Nobody's.
I
gonna
love
make
that.
it this far in the show.
I finally gave up on seeking. That's my new thing. I don't seek anymore.
This is where I got into Alan Watson into not seeking but seeing.
Wow, Alan Watts. I got into like Wishbone.
Well, see, Alan Watts is
Alan
more into
Watts.
that like here.
Could you imagine if Wishbone
Just
did Alan
recognize-
Watts?
Just recognize where you are on the river. Like I'm just right here. This is where we are. This is what we're doing. We're on this podcast. This is where we are, and just be there all the time. Just be present all the time.
I'm present.
Yeah.
Yeah, you changed.
Be here now.
How did I change?
They're saying be here now.
Be here now. Yeah. I do that all the time. I'm very good at it.
We should be here now.
But we should also end the podcast at some point in time.
Yeah, this seems like a good spot for that. We'll be
Yeah,
back.
why not, Jay?
Next
Because you're
week
avoiding
with
our
more,
arguments, man.
Silence this, and at some point we're gonna release the Jackson. Watch
I'll release
this
that
with
one.
Jackson.
I want Jay versus Mauricio part 2. It's
And
coming.
also, we're
you
gonna
ready?
have a all
Oh, yeah,
good
yeah.
news
Come back next week.
episode at some point at the end of the month.
Yes.
Coming up,
This is
all
one
good
of the things.
news.
It's one of the things we're planning. Doing all good news. I'm
One
excited
episode.
about it.
One episode.
Everybody has
A
to
month.
just report the best news they can find.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No bad news.
Yeah.
But you can disagree with the good news.
Anything else to say, boys? What else do you have? Your blog and all those things. And
Come catch Mauricio. I am a stand-up comedian.
he's very funny.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll be performing June 11th at a Hotel Utah. And Tyler will be filming on Karma Points.
Yes.
I have nothing to plug.
There
Your
you
little
go.
blog, man.
I already
We already plugged it.
One more time. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Everybody also, removefromreality.com. We're going to do stuff with the film soon. I don't know. And arczombiesgame.com.
Can I get a t-shirt?
I actually updated my game this week. the game, the maps work again on the mobile app. So if you log in again on the mobile app, it will update. It'll work.
That's how you avoid zombies.
That's how you learn to kill all the zombies. You don't want to
Thanks,
avoid them. You
man.
want to fucking ruin the zombies. You want to fucking wreck them.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. How you doing, Jay?
All right, good talk, guys.
Good talk.